Hello. Today I'm going to talk about the latest module for Jackrabbit, the Jackrabbit Savings Account. I've talked about my fail-safe blueprint numerous amounts of times, and how up until today it was only available for 3C or a platform that supported a single down dollar cost averaging or safety order. Today, that changes. Here I'm on ADA on the 1-minute chart. Now I've already loaded the savings account module. I'm going to reveal it. It's a very simple module and it is standalone. I'm using a simple 1% deviation and a 1% take profit. Now before I get asked and requested, a trailing take profit does not work well with this type of a system. The speed and efficiency required for a trailing take profit, especially at larger candlesticks, is just not realistically viable. This is lightning fast the way it is, and you will see the profits here significantly surpass what 3C is normally capable of producing. Also, because of this paradigm, it moves extremely quickly for platforms like CryptoHopper. You see sell signals every time the price action goes above the 1% take profit, and buy signals every time the price action drops below the 1% deviation. These values are configurable, but I find this works straight out of the box reasonably well. So let's get into the details of what to look for and how to pick coins. From the standpoint of your price action, you want speed. ADA does pretty good. Sell charts, sell points, buy points. Now, for the purposes of rapid mathematics, I'm only going to use $10 per each marker. So right here, 10, 20, 30, this marker is going to bring in roughly 30 cents from these three purchases. This marker, 10, 20, 20 cents from those two purchases. Now, I don't necessarily consider ADA a good choice for what I am looking for. I am looking for rapid in and out production. ADA is a good choice if you want stability, because it is one of the many high volume coins and high market cap coins. Here we have a signal. Let's zoom it in and count it up. Now, normally with CryptoHopper, you need $1,000 to manage your dollar cost averaging. Here, I can make $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, $70, 70 cents off of this one simple trade. So you can literally see where you can reduce your costs drastically with CryptoHopper by not using their dollar cost averaging and using this framework for a savings account. Now this does show the one thing that I look for when I'm purchasing my coins. I don't want to go above 10 buy markers per a single sell. That is from the standpoint of my budget. I want to keep my budget at roughly $110 or $111 per every single sell. If you're using $10 trades, then it would just be the $100 limit. This is important because this way you can control your budget, and rather than using $1,000 per coin per position, you now can use just $100 and generate literally $1 within a particular time frame of 10 orders. So when you're looking for your coins, be sure to count and make sure you don't go above 10 per sell order. That's the highest you want to go as an average. Once in a while, you might get a coin that will go above that, but try to stay at 10 or less, as it is much more efficient on your budget. For example, here to here, one trade, 1%, straight out 10 cents. Perfect situation. Here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 40 cents. You see how quickly I am able to actually figure out how much my earnings are. That is important. So when you're looking at your charts, the other thing I pay attention to is the timing. I don't want to hold coins for a long time. I want shorter time spans than what this offers. This is about half a day. I prefer smaller time frames, but this is a good coin and it's consistent. Don't rule it out as a staple in your savings account, but focus on more rapid coins for greater profitability. So let's move to the next coin. Again, sideways action. I particularly don't care for these kind of situations. And this is something you saw a lot in NADA. Sideways action means you don't trade. You need to go above the green line to sell and below the red line to buy. Long durations sideways don't get you anywhere. You want to see it cascade and move quickly. This is still a good coin though, and it stays within the 10 markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, sell. So that's important. But beware the sideways action and the amount of time it takes you to actually process all of your purchases. Sideways action, but look at the time frame. Much shorter time frames, which is good. Less time frames equal more profit. Long time frame, this is half a day just right here. Not something I would be particularly interested off the top. A good stable coin though, but not something I would necessarily go for as a first choice, given what I am particularly looking for my risk assessment. If you're looking for a stable coin with low risk, this is a good choice though. Okay, now we're starting to get some action. Nice groupings, a lot of good sell points. This is the kind of coin I would look for. A lot of rapid. So right here, sell point, all of these sell points. If you figure 1% every time you see one of these, this is the kind of stuff that's good, particularly for the time frame you're working on. Let's zoom in and count the signals. Make sure we're under our 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one is close, but it's still under 10, and it still does a nice job. While I'm here, I do want to talk about something that is a bit different from what 3 Commas or Crypto Hopper uses. 3 Commas and Crypto Hopper use a stepped-based dollar cost averaging. That is one purchase at a specific percentage level. So one purchase at 1%, one purchase at 2%, one purchase at 3%, one purchase at 4%. That's the whole basis behind the fail-safe blueprint, and why it works so well, because it fixes your budget to no more than $1,200. This uses a different type of method, which is more aggressive. This uses a price deviation methodology. As you see here, every time the price drops below the deviation boundary, it makes a purchase. That lowers the average, that lowers the profit line, and it does it fairly quickly. What might take several days with a stepped approach can literally only take hours or minutes with a price deviation approach. So this is a much more aggressive approach for dollar cost averaging versus what Crypto Hopper and 3 Commas traditionally uses. I personally believe this approach is better because it takes less resources. So here, looking at this trade, $90 to handle it, 90 cents. And you're basically looking at 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., 5-hour turnaround to get a full 1% profit. And that's really a good marker. Speed is everything with this. Here you see a long run, sideways action. That's not good. But the coin overall does a very good job and would be one of my first considerations. Look for your price action, look for your sells, count them to make sure you're 10 or less. Now you can go above 10 based upon your risk assessment. You can easily go to 100 if you really want to load up. I stay with 10 because that fits my risk assessment and my budget. So when you're looking at this, think about how much you want to commit to one single coin, because that's going to help determine how quickly you're going to break even at the end of the month. In my case, with a $700 budget, if I stayed at 10 or less, I can trade up to 10 coins simultaneously. That works very well, and that pretty much, I can trade up to 7 coins simultaneously. And that gives me a guarantee of being able to break even every month on a small budget. As you can see, coins like this, all you need is just 2 or 3 of them, and you can easily break even on 3 Commas. If you're using Crypto Hopper, 5 coins with a $500 budget can break even within a month, and that covers a $50 subscription for the Adventurer subscription. That also covers the Patreon costs and the TradingView costs. $5, 500. That's a lot different than typically $1,000 per coin, where Crypto Hopper does best really with $5,000 or more a month. So this is something to pay very attention to. Here's another coin that I like, because again, a lot of sell points, not many buy points, but a lot of frequency between buys and sells. I'm not holding very long, in other words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sell. 1, sell. 1, 2, sell. Very quickly, rapid fire. This is profit. If you make 10 cents every time one of these sells, it doesn't take long for this coin to rack up $1 a day. $30 a month, 2 coins, $60 a month, you've broken even with 3 commas. That quick, that efficient, and that fast. This is a first-line coin choice, something you want to think about, something you want to look at, and it's a very reliable coin in its market capital. You don't want to deal with coins that are too low or too close to being delisted. BAT is a good coin choice. BCH. This is a stable coin choice because it is one of the top tiered coins, but it is a slow coin. Look at these long stretches of sideways action. You see the buy markers. These means you're going to be holding for longer periods of time. That's fine, but if your goal is to generate a break-even point, this coin by itself may not accomplish that. As an overall portfolio, this coin is something you cannot pass up. It's a good, strong coin. So when you're doing your analysis, look for these sideways runs. These are good if you're looking for stability. They're not good if you're looking for rapid price action. You have to buy here, sell here. Near misses don't count. And here's a good example of a near miss that causes problems with trailing stop loss. Right here. Notice this candlestick went above the profit line, but it did not close above the profit line. And this is exactly why a trailing stop loss at this level is not efficient. Because even though this did go above the profit line, it didn't stay above the profit line. And because of that, it did not generate a sell signal. Near misses don't count. Near miss here, near miss here, near miss here, near miss here. They don't count. They're not going to happen. This is why I stay with take profit only, for speed and efficiency. And why when you look at your charts, look for these runs. Yes, this looks like it should sell, but it didn't stay at the closing price. This should have bought, but only if it stayed at the candlestick close. Must keep that in mind when you're looking at your coin choices. You want efficiency and reliability in your signals. Neither one of these produced that result. So for me, a good stable choice, not a coin I would choose as my first choice unless I have a larger budget and I'm looking for a stability platform that this coin offers. Okay, Beam. This is a bit of an odd run for Beam. Normally it doesn't last like this, as you can see. And Beam is definitely a good choice. Look at the buy signals, look at the sell signals, a good relationship. You're not holding more than 10 here. Very rapid, very consistent, strong swings. You do get these crazy runs once in a while, but they don't last very long, as you can see. Only a couple of hours. So this is a good first choice for the savings account. Figure 10 cents every time you see a sell marker. That tells you how quickly this can add up as a rough estimate. That's important when you're thinking about this. Also, look at this. Clustered buys. In fact, let's zoom in on this. Let's take a look at this. This is a good example of where a price deviation methodology is actually better than a stepped methodology. A price deviation methodology, look how quickly it dropped the average, the blue line, and how quickly it actually was able to sell a profit. So literally, followed it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. Now it did go over 10 here, 9, 10. Actually, right at 10. So right here, 10 markers. And it sold it off literally within a few hours. A stepped process, this would not sell off just because it would have only made one single transaction for every 1% step. And as you can see, with the price action, that's not very quickly. So I personally believe this is a better format and more resilient to the market. Plus it dynamically deals with the market quickly. So this is the first choice coin for me. I like it. It's rapid. It's in. It's out. It swings crazy. Good relationship between the buys and the sells. Once in a while you get something like this, but notice it sold everything off before it did this. Perfect. BNB. A good stable coin for a solid long-term portfolio. Not good for rapid profits. Look at your runs. Look at your time frame. Half a day. Between here to here. Quite a bit of time wasted. Look at this duration compared to this duration. Which one's going to bring you more profits safely? This one. This is what you want for your savings account. This is what you want for a long-term choice as a staple if you have a larger budget to work with. $100 here, $1 a day easily. $100 here, you're not going to get $1 a day easily. Big difference in your break-even points. Keep that in mind when you're looking at your coins. Also be sure, if you have the budget, to mix both long-term and short-term at the same time. That way you get a balanced portfolio. Again, Bitcoin. Everybody loves it, but not for a savings account. Look at these runs. These runs are going to kill you. You're not going to make any money on these runs. Pay attention to these kind of details. This is good long-term stability, not short-term profits. Okay, BTS. This is a good coin. The relationship between the buy signals and the sell signals. Very good, very limited. You see a lot of combinations here. This would be a first choice coin. Important to focus on these little details. This coin's going to bring you easily $1 a day, if not more, depending upon market swings. Right here, between the 4th and the 5th, 10, 20, 30 cents right here off of this coin. This coin, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, it does a good job. So maybe not quite $1 a day for this one, but still worth looking at. This coin and Beam, winner combination. Okay, here's another one. This I don't like. I would avoid this kind of stuff. too much space between sell orders. So I personally would not get near this coin just because the relationship between the sell signals and the buy signals is not strong enough. You want to see more sell signals. This coin might be good for an intermediate or medium level, but not for a short-term level. Here's another coin. Good number of sell signals, good number of buy signals. A bit of a long drop here, but it doesn't take long, as you can see, for it to make a profit. I would consider this, but not as a first choice, just because of this run right here. If you're looking for a more profitable coin, these runs can bring you a bigger profit, but they're going to go above 10 levels, it looks like. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this coin would take $160 to turn this around. That's a little above where I want to go for my initial savings account process. So while this is a good coin, if you have the budget for this coin, $1.6 for this run, that's pretty good. If you don't have the coin or you don't want to go above 100, I wouldn't necessarily get near this one. Dash. The runs here, not a good combination. This is a kind of coin I would avoid because it's not a top tier coin and these runs are too long. Not good overall for what your intended purposes and goals are. Dusk. Good combination. Good combination. This is a coin worth considering. In and out quickly. Remember, if every single one of these generates 10 cents, it's going to break even. Keep that in mind. You want speed. This is a good, fast-looking coin. Check your history. Scroll back. You see it's consistent. A few dry periods, but nothing overly too far. Zoom in, check it out, see how much these dry periods were going to cost. 10, 20, 30, 40. Let's get this where we can see it. 90. So 90. 9 positions. So it's within the 10. I would make this the first choice. One of my top tier coins to work with. Nice, good consistency, in and out quickly. This is actually a very good coin to work with. Okay, Engine. Good relationship. Not as fast as Dusk. You do have some runs, but still this is a pretty solid coin performer. I would rank Dusk above this because of the frequency of trades. But this is still a good coin to look at. EOS. No. This right here is one big red flag. It can't even break a 2% boundary in all of this time. For me, that is just a deal breaker. I would not even consider this coin at all for a savings account. Same thing here. A little bit too long. It's good if you're looking for a mid-term coin, but short-term coins is just not that great. Remember, from here to here is 1%. From here to here is 1%. 2% is not that much of a deviation from buy to selling range. The fact that you have all of this time to reach 2% is just not a good indicator for something that moves quickly. It's good for a longer term portfolio, It's not good for shorter term portfolio. I want speed. That's the big focus of the savings account. Get in, rack up that percentage, get out, recycle the money as quickly as possible. You want to focus on that. Same thing here, long runs, just not worth it. Just not worth going through these kind of coins. Not for short term. For long term stability, absolutely. Short term speed, not good. Euro, right here, this run, no. This is over 24 hours. You have to hold for a sell point. I would run the other direction on this coin. Just not a good coin to work with. Getting back into a good stable area. Your relationships are good between your buys and your sells. It's not as good as Dusk or Beam, but it's still reasonably well done. A little better than the last one. It's definitely something I would consider. So, look at your relationships, look at your combinations. Those are important. They are not going to guarantee you absolutes, but they are going to give you a good benchmark when you look at a coin like this and you look at a coin like this. You can see very quickly this is going to be more profitable than this. You want frequency of transactions, frequency of trades. That is what's going to drive your profits. Don't see a lot of transactions, good mid-level coin. Not a good top-level speed coin like Dusk. Same thing, good. You see a lot of buys, you see a lot of sells. I particularly am not happy about this. I would not make this a top choice. This one is definitely out for the same reason. Too much distance, too much racking up down here. Chainlink, what can I say? This is just over a day to make a profit on this. I would rule this completely off the board. Not good. Too slow, too much exposure to the market. Even though I only have $50 invested, that's $50 I could have turned around on Beam or Dusk at least 5 times for the amount of time it took to make this 50-cent profit. So I could have made $2.50 off of Dusk or Beam for 50 cents off of this coin. Not a good choice from my opinion. Not a good choice for my intentions. Okay. Lisk, good coin. Like Dusk, like Beam, high frequency, move in, move out, get the job done. So 3 top coins right here that are good profit-making coins. Dusk, Beam, and LSK. So if you're looking for speed, that's what you look for. If you're looking for stability, definitely take the top 13 1 billion market cap coins. They will give you stability. They will not profit quickly. That means your break-even will take longer. But for stability, they are rock solid. So before you set your savings account up, think about what you want to achieve with it. If you want to achieve speed, focus on the faster coins. If you want to achieve stability, focus on the slower coins. If you want, and probably the best approach, mix them if you have the budget. Get a little bit of fast, a little bit of slow. This is a coin I would avoid personally. Too much space between the sell signals. Not bad. Nice relationship between sells and buys. Good overall bumps. I would consider this as a lower, upper mid-range, lower upper range coin. Not my first pick, but certainly a good combination if I'm looking for a coin that I want to push quickly, or quicker than some of the others. Good coin. I personally wouldn't make it a top pick because of the amount of space between the buys. But it's still a good, reasonable mid-level coin. The runs are too long. The gaps between the sell points are too long. Not something I would pick as a top tier coin to work with. But a good, reasonable profit nonetheless. Although 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It gets 7 to 8 signals. It gets up there close to how much I would want to spend. I would say 8 to 10 signals. I don't know if I personally would pick this as a first choice at all for the duration unless I was going for stability. Okay, this coin. Perfect relationship of buy signals, a lot of sell signals, top tier performer. This is a coin I would consider for fast, rapid transactions. So 4 coins right now. Although I don't know much about this coin, it definitely looks like it would do good. A little bit slower, but still good relationship between your buys and your sells. Same thing, good relationship between buys and sells. Personally would avoid this one. Too much space here, too much space here, too much space here. Not a coin I would pick as a top tier. And the coin itself, I don't believe it to be stable enough to pick it as a mid or long range tier. If I'm going to pick high risk coins, I want in and out quickly. I don't want to stay in the market. I don't want to be exposed. So this coin, for me, off the table. Okay, slowing down here. A lot of good signals here. A lot of action right here. Because it slows down, no, I wouldn't necessarily say a top tier coin, but I definitely would give this coin some careful consideration because it does have the right amount of sell signals to buy signals. It's fairly consistent. The runs are not too long. So not necessarily something I would pick right away, but it's not something I would ignore. This one off the table. Right here and right here. Point blank for me. This is not a top tier coin. I wouldn't touch this one. Okay, this is actually a nice coin. Good relationship, good number, good relationship, good number, high frequency, in and out, exactly what I want. 5 coins right now, all good performers, all very well done. I personally would see this as a mid-tier. It's a stable coin, but not a top tier or a fast tier for rapid profits. Okay, it's got a good number. It does a good number. Doesn't look like it goes over my threshold. I would say this would be a top tier consideration. This would definitely be a top tier consideration. Good number between the buys and the sells. High frequency, which is exactly what I would want considering the coin that it is. Raven. Mid-level. The runs are more of a downbeat for me. I don't know if I would make it a first choice mid-level just because Raven is not that stable of a coin. but it's definitely a reasonable mid-level coin if you have a little bit of a higher risk tolerance. Okay, too many buy signals to the sell signals. I personally would not consider this as a top tier coin. To me, this is a mid-level coin because at least it does sell off fairly quickly comparative to other coins. Theta, what can I say? Mid-level coin at best. There's just too many gaps between the sell signals. For me, that's a problem because I want to move quickly. It's not a top tier coin, so in a way, I may not even consider it as a mid-level coin. You want to move as quickly as you can if you're picking low-grade coins above 1 million market cap. You need to focus on speed. You want to see those signals. More signals, better profit, shorter duration exposure to the market. That is critical. Good number of sell signals, good number of buy signals, not the best combination because we've seen coins like Beam or Lisk that have better coordinated combinations between buys and sells, but this is still a good market performer. Okay, personally, no. Low-level coin, long-duration coin, maybe. Right here, too much of a run, too much space between the signals, the level of sell signals compared to the level of buy signals. It just doesn't perform well in my book for what I'm looking for. Okay, good number of sell signals, good number of buy signals, large quantities, short duration. This would be a consideration to work with. Something to think about, put it in your list, go through, pick the best of the best. This is definitely a good coin to consider. Okay, too much space. I generally don't like coins like this compared to coins like this. I want to see these signals. So for me, this is not a top performer, particularly considering it's not even a top tier coin. I would personally not even put this one on the table. This is a difficult coin because it has been known to do some crazy rides in the past. Good profitability for long term, short term, or for the savings account. I would say mid-range. It's got a good relationship between your sell signals and your buy signals. There are some runs in here, but they're not overly extensive compared to, say, EOS or some of the other bigger coins. Stellar, good stable coin. If you're looking for long term, it's a must. Put it in there because point blank, it's going to do well. Even EOS is a good long-term coin. If you're looking for short-term profits, too much space here, too sideways here, not a good relationship between buys and sells. Monero, same thing. Look at this run. For a long-term coin, this would be fine. For short-term, this is just not a good coin to work with. So I would actually not even put this on the table for my own personal risk assessment. Too much exposure for the market. This is almost completely a day and a half exposure, and it still hasn't even sold off yet. So for me, way too much exposure, way too much risk for my intended purposes. Another coin, reasonable runs, long-term only, too much exposure for a rapid-fire system. For a stable coin in the long-tier process, another good coin. And XMR is a good coin for long-term. If you're looking for long-term stability, don't rule it out. Okay, let's go down to Tezos. Personally, would not be a choice for me. except for long term. Too much time between sell signals. Too much racking up of the buy signals. Not a good relationship between buying and selling, and there's simply too much ranging. So a good long-term coin, not a good short-term coin. ZEC. I personally would not make this a good short-term coin. It would be a good long-term coin, but you need to consider that it's not a top-tier coin. That could be a problem to think about in the future as you're working with this. Overall, looking at the number of buys, this could require a higher number of positions before it turns around. That could be a problem if you're looking to mitigate risk. I personally would not get near this coin for that reason. If it was a top tier coin, I would consider it, but because it's not within the top 1 billion market cap, I would not consider that coin. Good, I would say medium long is not overly bad. It's not something that would be a first choice just because ZRX has a history of being difficult to work with. But it's not the worst coin I've seen going through this list. The runs are a little longer than what I would like, but it's not racking up too much before it hits the sell signals. So I would say a mid to long-term coin, reasonable. It's got a good history, even though it can be a little difficult to work with. Good, fast coin. Good relationship between buys and sells. Constant movement. Consistency of trades. This is a coin I would consider for my savings account. In and out quickly. Very little duration. So something that would definitely be a top tier consideration for the savings account. And there we are. Literally through the entire list of all coins above 1 penny. As a general rule, I do not work with any coin that is below 1 penny, as I don't consider it stable enough. So I've just given you several good choices to look at. Think about the direction you want to trade. Do you want rapid, quick trades, or do you want longer, more stable trades? Or do you want a combination? The biggest thing that you need to be aware of with the price deviation methodology, unlike the step deviation methodology, that the budget is fixed. Price deviation is not fixed. A Black Thursday situation can cause to rack up a lot of positions. So you do need to think about that. And you can see when you're looking at longer coins, let's get to Bitcoin. Okay, and one more, we should be here. When you're looking at these longer drops, that's something you want to be aware of. You don't want to end up racking up 30 or 40 steps. Like right here, this drop. On a step-based dollar cost averaging, take a good look at this drop. Look how quickly this turned it around and sold it for a profit. Literally within a couple of days. A step-based dollar cost averaging, this would be a nightmare to deal with. So you need to pay attention to the long-term and short-term of the coin if you're looking to get in and out quickly. Pick your coins carefully. Evaluate them carefully. Focus on just what you are trying to achieve with your savings account. If you're looking for long-term stability, Bitcoin is a good choice. If you're looking for high speed, coins like this are a good choice. Be sure you look at your risk assessment. Look at your budget. Focus on the combination of both of them combined. And that will help you pick both the right coins and the right time frame to work in. Until next time.